Oh, we live. We live,
Oh,
man.
let's
The
get it.
hybrid vigor.
Yo,
Yeah.
It's the hybrid vigor show. Pull on up, you guys. Pull on up.
The chat already jumping.
Where's the chat?
Melee. Melee lot boy.
Get
Let's
it
see.
going, man. Lot boy. This is the hybrid vigor show. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Everybody want to know what hybrid vigor is.
Lamont
Everybody
Grant.
wants to know what hybrid vigor is. Everybody wants to be the first to talk about hybrid vigor. This is one of those conversations that go through the community. Pull up a seat, hit the like button. We got some very special guests in the building, in case you didn't know. In case you didn't know. We got Professor Emily Parker in the building. King Scumbag, and my boy Vito.
what's good? What's good?
Let's
What's
get it.
crack?
Let me see. Let me send this guy something. Yes, sir. Hey, who's in the building? Who's in the building today? Florida boys, what up? Melee, Pitwise. Oh, he said the buzzword of 2025 for sure. Hybrid vigor. Yes, sir. We got to get it in. There was a lot of questions, man. It was a lot of questions. Everybody's asking, what is it? You know, I think J-Bo wanted to see a pedigree where it's better explained in a pedigree, you know. And it's all right, you know, if you're not a breeder, because I know breeders that know about that shit. A lot of dudes know about hybrid vigor. Um, you know, let me see. Let me see. These boys was going in, man. They was going in on the podcast. And you know, there's a lot of hybrid vigor talk. Everybody want to know what it is. Let me get this stuff up here. Hold up.
animals, you know, just to show how.
And now, you know, this is educational purposes. We're just going back through, you know, checking some traps. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we can answer some questions. Kai's not here today. You know, I know most of this was, you know, because Kai's mind, I mean, he sparked it off last week, man, with this hybrid vigor. And to me, it had a bunch of dudes in their feelings, you know, but you know, if you didn't know about it, you've been in the game forever. It just goes to show that no matter how long we're in this game, we will always learn new things as the days progress. And you never get too old to where you can't learn nothing, bro. You know, this is a key ingredient. And a lot of breeders weren't great because they didn't know how to capitalize on those moments. You know, hybrid vigor is a moment, it's an occurrence. Like I said, like before I even got this definition that I put on the screen right here. Right. Let me get this up here. Because I just got this like 5 minutes ago, or 10 minutes. And it goes to, if you go back to what I was talking about on the other show on my channel, right? And you know, in a nutshell, they were it's kind of convenient how we always bring up Yellow and Mayday and all those dogs. You know, so we'll go through some of them, although you have to understand that under the grounds, if we're going to go by these grounds, you really don't know if they're stronger or healthier if you never saw those parents for yourself, right? So this is more of a experience that you would have on your yard. Yeah, we'll get on YouTube. We might share that experience with everybody. Talk about it. Yeah, this litter, man, I had, man, that was great. You know, it's like when you had that great litter, like, man, those dogs, those was the best dogs I had, man. You've already experienced it. You probably already experienced it, but you just didn't use the scientific term. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not some new shit that's popping up. People just trying to say it. Oh, I only hear it because I hear some dudes, they say, oh, I never heard that till I came to YouTube and shit. Well, you don't know every dog man. You might know the dog men in your region and the intellect that they have, right? You don't know everybody. You don't know if Fat Bill explained it perfectly on here. The hybrid vigor situation. I seen him in the chat on this video that I'm about to play some clips of. And he even put a definition on there, you know, and he wasn't really shying away from it, right? Although he said that it's misleading with, you know, basically all these bloods kind of being connected like that, which I disagree with that wholeheartedly, because I'm on the spectrum to where if I go 3 or 4 generations and I'm using different dogs, I'm adding crosses in there, and I go 3 or 4 generations removed, and some of these dogs are 10, 15 generations removed, and then you cross those dogs together. I don't give a fuck if Daibo's 25 generations down. You know, those dogs are different, right? You know, so I disagree with that part of it, but you know, it's just a minor disagreement, you know, that we have. What's going on, Wee Moon? What up, man? What up, man? And let's get them likes up. Let's get them views up.
What
Hit
up,
that
Wayne? What
subscribe
up? What
button.
up?
Hit all of that. I see Calypso in the building. Salute. Everybody in the building. You know, yeah, let's get this one because hopefully we can pull up some pads and kind of explain. But I think it only works if you know the dog, so you know that those dogs got better. We just can't assume that Luke Kane was better than Mayday and fucking the dogs that come after that, and you know, all of this shit, even though there could be some situations in there that you can show that the dogs were way better. You know, the cross or the however you put it together, if the puppies came out and they fit those characteristics, puppies are stronger, healthier, more resilient, right? So in the genetic diversity, that's an outcross. Those genetics are diverse. You're not, because we do a lot of inbreeding in this in the APBT. And that's what we talk about. What happens when you breed it too tight, right? It's the opposite of what's happening with the hybrid vigor. So you might got a tight ass dog that's bred so tight that she's unfunctionable, right? She might not have OG explained it in one of his other videos that he got. You know, she just wasn't, you know, with a problem with inbreeding is you sometimes get dogs that just aren't that. So you're going to counteract that and cross your dogs up, right? Now, it might be coming from two tightly bred families, which means that they always got room to, if it's bred correctly, the correct genetics are in place. I take these two tight lines together, which they might be sixes, both of them together. They might be sixes and easily produce a litter full of eights, right? That will be hybrid vigor explained. So to just dig a pedigree up and say, how do I do it? I think that's kind of disingenuous. It is. You know, we all know definitions. It's not a big deal. You know, this is not a big deal. What dog man talk about that? There was plenty of dog men that talked about it. You know, when you're doing outcrosses, battle crosses, different things like that. Yeah, they don't always work. That means hybrid vigor did not occur. They didn't come out stronger, healthier, more resilient. Neither one of those characteristics. So yeah, it doesn't always work. Just like you do a breeding, it doesn't always work. You try to do two outcrosses with dogs and you end up getting the same type of quality dogs. It didn't work. They just don't have genetic capability to give you something better. You know? So this we was digging, man. We was digging. I like when this shit gets in here, you know, then we just got to pull the master class out. You know, we got to pull the master class, get some, because we don't want to lead to our own understanding. That's what we don't want to do. We want to base it off of facts. No, this isn't a big deal. This isn't a make or break you situation. I heard another brother ask, you know, can you create hybrid vigor all the time? Because all the guys didn't, you know, some of them knew what the fuck they was talking about up there. It was in my pocket and shit. I really couldn't see who was what, but I was just listening to the conversation earlier, and interesting conversation. You know, can you get that on a regular basis? That's what you strive to do. That's what you strive to do every day. When you're in your dogs, when you're looking at your dogs, when you're making your selection, breeding selection, different things, bringing in the blood, right? Not keeping dogs with bad traits. It's not a new thing, y'all. It's not. Let's stop acting like that. Let's stop acting like that, man. We talk about this all the time. Go listen to some people just use the terminology, some people don't. Right? Bulldog Mall talked about it all the fucking time. Several videos. Go back, listen to some of those live streams that we had. Okay? For the community, we make a mockery out of it, but really it's supposed to be an educational moment. This is to educate you so that you can get out of the system that you've been in for your whole life. And that's buying other people's dogs. Right? Garner knows what it is. And when it occurs, people see those dogs and they're great. Right? I'm pretty sure you crossed that red boy with some of that Frisco and got hybrid vigor on them dogs. If he tells you, that's one thing, but most likely he's not going to tell you. Most likely they're going to try to produce something that is tight enough to when you cross it up, you can experience that on your yard if you pay attention. But some of us are in a situation to where we're just going to be buying dogs for the rest of our lives. You're never going to understand how to do it. And you've never been sustainable. You've never been sustainable. Nobody ever came to you and got anything good because you ain't got nothing unless you got it from somebody else. That's why the last few years, motherfuckers been talking about this bread not bought shit. Motherfuckers bread not bought everything but a good dog. What's going on, Kaz?
You know, Mr. Hybrid Vigor had to.
We in here today because I was hearing that video. I don't know if you jumped on. My phone died. I was in the backyard picking berries and shit. I was listening to it. It was a good cook, and my phone died, so I didn't finish it. But maybe you came in, maybe you didn't. It just seemed like they wanted this shit explained a little bit more. So I was like, well, fuck, let's go up tonight. That's a good Bulldog Sunday. Happy Bulldog Sunday, everybody.
Mm-hmm. You know, it is. It's all good. You dig what I'm talking about?
Gosh. That's gosh.
Yep.
Hello? Is mine?
Yeah, now you in there. Yeah, now you got it, Kaz. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you dig what I'm saying? My whole point to even bringing this information out in the beginning was to assist dog men into breeding better dogs.
That's right.
You dig what I'm talking about? I think it's a reason if you had dogs 30 years ago, why you ain't got them today.
That's right.
You dig what I'm talking about? The main reason is, whether you believe it or not, you didn't understand hybrid vigor.
Right.
You can be mad at it, but the thing is, you ain't producing it, right? Because if you was producing it, you'd be able to see it. And just like Buck City is explaining it, right? We have known these things. You dig what I'm talking about as dog men for thousands and thousands of years since animals started to be domesticated. But we just called them by different terminology.
That's right.
You dig what I'm saying? My understanding is if we get better, our dogs get better. So understanding what you're talking about instead of asking, oh, is this a hybrid Vigor dog? If anybody asks you that just, that's tangible, objective proof that they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Is this, if you ask, is one individual dog a hybrid Vigor dog? You're just dumb.
Right.
Right? So, at some point, I kind of, want to just leave them in the dark.
Right.
You dig what I'm talking about? Because many of these people don't deserve good dogs. Whether you can feel how you want to feel about what I'm saying, is I'm telling you the truth. Many of y'all don't deserve good dogs. Because this shit was hee ha ha funny. You dig what I'm talking about? And really, why we're getting all this backlash, especially me, the jokes, hybrid Vigor this, hybrid Vigor that, is because the loudest laughs are birthed in the darkest pits of ignorance. Right? They laugh at shit they can't get. Right?
Mm.
And my thing is, I'm not here to save nobody. You can take the information or not. Who cares? Right? If you think you know everything and you got it, and ain't no old dog man told you this, well, your old dog man ain't got shit either. He ain't got dogs neither.
He ain't got shit.
That's what you got. That's what y'all got to look around and see. The thing is to have a dog 40 years ago, right? 30, 25 years ago, and have his baseline of children 25 years later, right? As good as he is and better. Your baseline. So if you just breed a Mayday 25 years later, you just continuing the line. You're not even advancing it. But now look at where, instead of Mayday being the progenitor, right? He is now the base. And this is called a family line. You dig what I'm talking about? None of them family lines, you got ones with that produce better, bite better, look better, structure better, but then you get the ones that got it all. Right? And it's breeders who are breeding for that. None of that is luck. There's no pixie dust you sprinkle in there. You actually have to know what you're doing. Right? And for the fact that y'all don't know hybrid Vigor, but you don't know it scientific term, but you know it when you're watching it in a family of your dogs. Old Billy Bob bred up Billy Bob Jr., but Billy Bob the third is better than Billy Bob. That's hybrid Vigor, y'all. He bigger, stronger, faster, produce better children who go on to produce better children. You can't see hybrid Vigor in one or two dogs. All right? So I think that they be having a misunderstanding on what is actually said. Right? You would have to look at like a whole line of dogs. Right? And then look what they're breeding it to. Is it tight? Is it inbred? Is it line bred? And which one of them advanced the breed? Because basically the same thing that they always been saying is what they've been doing. Bringing the back end to the front. That should be a simple way to understand of how to push the genetics forward. You got a son of Indian Bolio, right? On top, right? And back here, you got way back in the back, you got Indian Bolio, Klaus Steiber, and all this stuff. But you got to go 4 generations to get to this dog that you about to breed to. But you got Indian Bolio back here. How do you bring that shit in the dam forward? Right? You breed that Indian Bolio, that son of Indian Bolio, to that stuff that got it in the back, right? That breeding breeds in the stuff that is recessive. Recessive means the same, right? It don't mean decrepit or I'm going to lose something, or recessive means negative. It don't mean that. Recessive means the same. So that same bolio that was way back in the back, click with this bolio up in the front. That's what it is. And it produces a dog that has those genetics of like the Indian bolio even more strongly. Why? Because they match. You know what I mean? It's real simple, right? How I want to do it. But just remember, all this stems from selective breeding on things you've seen. Most people don't even know why they're breeding a dog. Oh, we just got good paperwork. We seen some of the best do it, so don't act like y'all don't do it. We seen Indian Sonny do it. I broke down the shit where Indian Sonny was breeding a cur bitch to a dog that wasn't nothing but game. But then he finally got it to where it was decently structured. He crossed it with some Jeep shit and got champions. That's called hybrid vigor, y'all. He bred from a bunch of cur bullshit to champions. That's what it looked like. You dig what I'm saying? That's like an extreme version. You dig what I'm saying? Cur shit, bad structure, undershot. You dig what I'm talking about? But it's game. He bred that bullshit up, and it was still some bullshit. But guess what it had in it? Nothing but Indian bolio. Tight, top and bottom. And you know what he did with that? He took it to a line of family of dogs that wasn't readily close to his, right? But exemplified everything he was looking for in a dog. That Jeep shit. He took it to the Indian Jeep shit, Grand Champion Luke. He took it to that Gator Jeep shit, Champion Sunday, Champion Wthelly. In the first litter, when he cut that Jeep shit back to that tight bolio shit, right? First litter, a Grand Champion, 2 champions. You think Indian Sonny didn't know what he was doing, or you dig what I'm talking about? Didn't have an idea of what he was trying to do? Why was he breeding this curse shit? Why was he doubling down on it? And then the crazy part is that nigga took the curse shit, put that good ass Gator shit on top of it, that Jeep shit, and then in the next round he cut back into the Indian bolio shit. Another Grand Champion. Why would he do? I wouldn't even have did that. But why did he do that? Because he knew I wasn't gonna do. If I don't do nothing, if I don't do nothing, I'm gonna throw a bunch of game ass dogs. That's what he was looking for. That's what he was breeding for. He needed some, but he needed production, and he needed them to be structurally right and all that good, and to give that vigor. Right? We call it good, but it's actually called vigor. Right? All the goodness in your dog is vigor. Right? When your dog, who ain't never been touched, right, breed to another dog that ain't never been touched, right, and they throw 2 champions, right? Now them champions who have been touched go on to breed 4 champions. And them champions, let's say they go to breed 3 each. And out of them 6, You dig what I'm talking about? You get 4 champions and a grand champion. That's an example of hybrid vigor, just to dumb it down. Right? This is not hard. It's not no rocket science to this. I'm not saying it's 100%. But yes, if you know what you doing, damn near in every breeding, you gonna see what the fuck you looking for. Every breeding. And if you don't, that just meant you don't know what the fuck you doing. You don't know what you're doing. Why it didn't click? You think it's the dog fault that it didn't click? No, it's your fault. And that's what people don't want to look at. You dig what I'm talking about? Their part in this. You know? I tried to tell the brother last night, a good way to understand or to break down hybrid vigor is red boy. But the pedigree don't match. What does that matter what the pedigree is? That's why that just lets me know you don't know what the fuck you talking about. The pedigree could say half tiger and half baboon. Nigga, it don't matter if it can breed with this pit bull. We know tigers and big baboons can't breed pit bulls. But I'm just saying, it wouldn't matter what the pedigree actually said. We know Red Boy was a real dog, a 2-time winner, and a Rom. Right? How do we know he a Rom? Because he went on to breed champions. Right? Then he bred champions who bred champions. And champions who bred grand champions. That's a family line of dogs. So anybody try to tell you this don't work like this, Mayday is a yellow dog and is a red dog, a red boy dog. It worked that way. Yellow John is yellow is a yellow John dog and a red boy dog. They of the familial line of red boy of the strain of yellow. Y'all starting to get it? So guess what happens? You breed down the line of that yellow shit, you get to a guy named Mayday. Mayday has siblings. To double down on the great genetics extended from red boy to yellow John, to yellow John, to Mayday, right? To double down on that and to lock it and bring them genes forward, I inbreed him to his line bred sister, to his littermate sister. That's to lock the genetics in and push the traits that I'm looking for forward, especially the one trait that I think is very important, and that's the Rom trait. Right? That's the ability to produce good dogs. Right? Red Boy had it. Yellow had it. Yellow John had it. Mayday had it. You dig what I'm talking about? And when you're line breeding tight or close, because you can do line breeding tight. So because we focusing on red boy dogs. But which red boy dogs? Right? We down here at Mayday. Now we gonna build a wall. I'm breeding Mayday to his litter mates, sisters, and all that stuff. And I'm breeding him to his daughters. Right? To push a family of line of genetic dogs, right? That are at least Maydays or better. That's what I'm looking for. The whole point is I gotta at least at the bottom be a Mayday. That's a grand champion and a Rom. Right? We see not only did he do it, he did it multiple times. Mayday bad, bro. I just did a little breakdown on him. Y'all go back to Tales from the Swamp. Last show, you dig what I'm talking about, the best sons of Mayday. They got one, I'm not sure if it's all the way right on it, but if it's true, it's the second double grand champion that I've ever seen. You got double grand champion Tornado.
What about Teddy?
Huh?
What about Teddy?
And Teddy a killer.
Teddy was bisexual.
But they got a double grand champion off of Mayday named Red. Right? So I didn't even know that. But you know he ran into that Nenad kid, the Nenad man, and he disappeared. But he won 10. So there's not a trick to this. There's a reason he threw so many champions. Right? And then you got to remember with our dogs, man, we do something different that no other real breed does. The German Shepherd, the Malinois, the any of the other breeds, right? They breed like for the show. They don't breed tightly bred dogs to each other, and they don't inbreed, right? But for us in the pit bull family, we're looking for something different that these other dogs don't even have, right? So to lock it in, we inbreed it. But with that inbreeding, you dig what I'm talking about? We call it being too tight. The real name of that is inbreeding depression. When you start to lose because of inbreeding. But we know what that is. It's too tight. Right? This is just the scientific term of it, y'all.
That's right. That's right.
But when you know what you're looking at, it's easier to pick what you're going to breed next. Most people, and Twin said, and I had to, because I wanted to push back against it, but he was right. He was like, I know why they bred Awesome Baby. Wasn't no secret why they bred her. The boys who really know what they doing know she had every bit of the sauce in her. Right? That if I tie it to what normally works, this deadlift, this Mayday, right? If I tie it to this, what's normally been working, because I seen it work with Mayday. I seen it work with Yellow John. I seen it work with Yellow. I seen it work with Red Boy. I'm not changing the wheel. I'm going to do the same thing they did. Take it right back to a line bred Red Boy dog that's different. It's just not tight bred. It's not inbred. But even when they inbred off Awesome Baby, they threw killers, stupid dogs. Why would you breed to that cold dog? Cosmo, is that hybrid Vigor? In a way, yes. Was she a great box champion? No. They say she was cold as ice. And if you ever seen a cold dog, this is not like a cold dog ain't like a cur dog. It's something different. A lot of people haven't been in the game long enough, actually, I've only seen 2 cold dogs in my life. I've had dogs all my life. Had pit bulls 40 years. Since I was 7. I've only seen 2 ever. But it's not what you think it is. Just like the game take his death quietly, so do the cold. And when the part of the genetics that that match, right, in the dogs. This is why when they put that Awesome Baby back to the Red Boy stuff, right, it pushed all that good shit forward, right? But what didn't match, right? What didn't match? Those parts are what become great, right? So why she probably threw a overabundance of very great aggressive dogs is because she wasn't at the locus where aggression would meet, or the gene or the spot where that aggression would be at normally, right? It's not the same, right? Hers would be turned off. The Red Boy shit that normally is good is turned on. Them genetics push forward a different type of aggression. It's expanded, right? So if you looking for aggression as a trait, right? You would have seen it in dogs. This is why you see it in dogs coming off Awesome Baby. Because what wasn't the same was pushed forward. And that made better dogs. Right? And when I say better, he ain't always got to be better in the box, but how else you know? Right? Unless you going to breed his back off just like his daddy. His daddy got 100 kids. He need to have 100 kids. His daddy threw 16 champions and 100 kids. This guy threw 34 champions, right? And 17 two-timers. Which one is better? That's hybrid vigor, y'all. And you can't do it because still see, what if I breed one of them 34 champions he didn't do, right? And he throw 50 champions. Right? That's how you tell it. This nigga bred 16, he bred 30, this nigga bred 50, this nigga bred 60. That's how you tell hybrid vigor work. You got to look at it in your family of dogs. Ooh, Mr. Crow. Right?
You know, I gotta go to this line, you know, because I know these dogs. You know, I had two off of this dog, you know, a direct son and a direct daughter. You know, so I think I can qualify to speak. You know, if you guys give me a second, you know.
Come on.
All these dudes out here, you know, that's gonna be buying dogs for the rest of your life. That's fine with me, because I'm gonna be selling dogs for the rest of mine. You know, to motherfuckers like you that would take you 10 fucking years to create what I can do in 2 or 3 breedings. You feel me? Because you don't understand. Okay. So let's go down. Let's scroll. So we see this dog, right? I want you to admire him and all the greatness. And then you look at his parents, right? You don't really see nothing that says that their parents are better than him, do you? They're from 2 totally different lines, right? This shit on the bottom right here is not related to this shit on the top, bro. I'm sorry. It's not. This shit's just not related. Okay? They're 2 totally different families. Okay? This shit go back to, this is like some crazy ass fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Steel Carver type
brothers
stuff.
And shit, you know, the boomerang and shit back there, man. Look, way totally different. And then we can always give it the 3, or let's give it the 4 generation rule. It's like after 4 generations, it's like, these dogs haven't been bred nowhere near close. It ain't 1 generation in 4 generations. I done tried to go with the bolio on the top, or it ain't nothing like that going on. So, and I can just assume that these guys, Wthelly, I heard stories about this dog. He wasn't better than Crow, bro. He might have been a good dog. He produced the Crow. He produced Grand Champion Crow, but that's not him. This would be, to me, if they wanted to see it happen on paper, because that's what I heard. It was like, well, show us a definition and all of this. So I was like, damn, bro. I mean, you could just
all you gotta do is look at Crow top. Look at the top of Crow pig.
Same thing. You got a lot of situations, but we won't know that because we don't know the elements, like healthier puppies. There's a lot of elements that go into this that it would be better explained by the person who did the breeding.
Right.
That's more of a thing that it happens, and you see it as a breeder. You might buy a dog, and that dog might be better than the parents, but was the whole litter as a collective, were they healthier, more resilient, less different deficiencies and shit like that. Like, you won't know if it was just an anomaly, a dog just popping up out of nowhere. It's a lot of gray area that breeders are privy to. We get access to that kind of information as breeders. Because when I call a dog, man, I'm not calling them talking shit that you're talking to them about.
Right.
We're talking about 2 different topics. Motherfucker might be worried about this and all this shit. I'm worried about the most important thing, right? And that's the production side of it. Because I feel like if I can produce it, I can spend my money on something else instead of trying to buy more dogs because I'm stuck on a high trying to chase a good dog that you fucked off. Because at 9 times out of 10, that's what happened. Most of you guys, you're chasing a good dog that you fucked off.
That you already got. You didn't look over.
No, you already had. You fucked him off.
Yeah.
You let him die. You let him fucking, you know what I'm saying? He was too young. You fucked him off. That's the story. That's the history of shit. So now we got dudes that think
nobody is above that, bro. Buck.
You say what?
I said, I don't think nobody is above that. I think.
Well, I'm talking about myself. So, I fucked him. I fucked it off. I fucked off shit. And but it's just, you try to put yourself in a position to not do that.
Right.
That's the goal. It's like, okay, well, this time I'm not gonna go to the well too many times, and I'm not gonna be trying to appease my fucking peers and shit and worried about what the fuck they're talking about, and I'm gonna stick to what I know. You got your knowledge for a certain reason and a purpose, so when you go off, and it's like you go to school, they're not gonna babysit you forever. You're gonna go to school, you're gonna have to get something out of this shit. Some people sit there all year and don't get nothing done. You sit on these fucking panels and shit. You ain't made 1 hybrid vigor breed. You ain't even tried. Because you worried about today. That's a barbarian. That's barbaric. A barbarian only worries about today. Okay? You can't be a fucking bonehead. You got to think about tomorrow. That's what this whole breeding thing is. That's what this whole putting these things together. I need this. You're incorporating shit down the line because you can see that fence. Okay, let me tighten this up right here. Let me do this right here. to lock in this right here. And then when I get done with that, I'm going to go and boop, knock it to this over here, maybe that pure bolio, and try to create hybrid vigor.
Mm-hmm. I think hybrid might throw them off a little bit too. You know, they don't be the sharpest knives in the drawer. A lot of them don't even be knives.
But they don't want to even look at the definition for what it is. We just had it on the screen.
And they think it's got to be between two different species.
Right.
Don't have to be that.
No. Unrelated dog, two unrelated dogs or breeds.
Right. But
so
it doesn't.
Unrelated,
but it can be unrelated dogs in a breed.
Well, it's unrelated dogs or breed. That means that they could be unrelated in a breed. Exactly. That's what that is. It doesn't. I don't think that means anything else. Because if it's different breeds, then we won't even need to say unrelated.
Yeah.
You know, because they different breeds. Of course, they ain't related. They different breeds. So the unrelated part of it gives us that nuance, you know, that this is captured within the breed also. And then you got to go over to, you know, because it's within reason. Yeah, they go back to Kobe and we got shit way back, but we're not looking 26 generations down.
No.
You know, if that's a goddamn Floyd Bujo dog, and then they got this motherfucking macho dog, the buck dog, that them dogs are fucking ages removed. They're ages removed, bro. They're totally two different lines of dogs, you know, unrelated. Totally. Yeah, we can probably go back and find a dog way back. Keep clicking. You click so far, you forget what fucking dog we looking at in the first place. You know. So now I got a little bit of this. You know, they was kind of chopping it up over there. You know, at the after show, and you know me, I'm popping in. I've been doing this shit. I've probably been popping in, you know, before a lot of you guys even been on this shit. So if you guys don't like me popping in, you know, I'm popping in.
They don't let me up. You did what I'm talking about. I try to, you know, hit the panels and stuff. They, oh no, Cosmo, don't, you know, we ain't come to do this. I mean, it's not. My thing is he ha ha. You did what I'm talking about. I be just trying to show what's up. That y'all don't really know what the fuck y'all be talking about while you laughing. You laughing out of ignorance. You dig what I'm talking about? That's why you giggling.
I know when I play a couple clips, it's gonna come right back to you.
You know what I mean? And it's nothing personal, but my thing is it's silly. It's just silly stuff. You dig what I'm saying? Is this a hybrid vigor dog? Can I breed? Can I breed for the hybrid big nigga? If you don't even if you ain't know that your dog already got it in it, why is you even breeding it?
Well, you're not paying attention, and like I said, breeding is not for everybody. Everybody's not going to be known as a breeder. We could all do breedings, but everybody's not just going to be like respected and just put in the body of work that it takes to be that. Raise up that many litters to be able to analyze that much shit, bro. It's hard. A lot of times you're not going to have the foundation behind you and people that's willing to, that believe in what you're putting together. They have to believe in what you're putting together, bro. You just can't go out here and buy dogs and just breed and expect to have a great program. Now, it could happen because you could get a lot of people that believe in what you're doing. But if you don't, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah.
You know, because unless you're just going to raise everything your fucking self, good luck. You know, it takes a lot of dogs. It takes a lot of breedings, more than 20, more than 100. You know, like if you're ready for that, you know, these guys, they have 4 litters and shit. And they're, oh, I'm a breeder. Okay. So who you going to let do open heart surgery on you? A motherfucker that only did 4 or a motherfucker that did 65?
Thousands. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about right now? You know, I'm gonna get a motherfucker that's been working on that shit. He knows that shit. He knows what he's gonna get. Okay, this litter, you're gonna get more of this. Okay, this litter, I think you're gonna get more of this, or this litter, probably that's what I think the hybrid vigor is gonna come in.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's gonna probably pop up about right here. If that's important to you, I'll just be like, okay, yeah, these right here, you know, they're gonna be more on that end, more less of the preservation end. You know what I'm saying? More, they might be more badasses in there.
Yeah.
That really just they badass dogs. They're just badass fucking dogs.
Yeah.
And it could be because of the cross.
We can produce bad dogs that can't reproduce themselves or better.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure.
But that right there, you dig what I'm talking about, means that just one part of the genetics was advanced. You dig what I'm talking about? One part of vigor in your dog is advanced, right? Because the part that makes him a rom, this other dog got that wasn't as good as a box champion. But
but if if you made a 10 and he just can't produce a fucking 10, like what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying?
No. If you made a 10 and he can only produce 3s or 5s, you dig what I'm talking about? They good, but you know, or 6s. You know, they good and he got a lot of breeds. They decent. You dig what I'm talking about?
But but it's the female too, though. It's got to be the female too. You know, sometimes a male just ain't gonna produce good just because that bitch ain't shit.
That too.
You know, it's like,
you gotta take that into account too.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be so hard on yourself, I should say. You know, I wouldn't be so hard. Because it's not really a big deal. I think everybody's in an uproar. Like I heard what's his name? Dog God. His shit popped up on my shit. You know, I clicked on it. I think I'm like a psychic, bro. It was talking about.
You, bro, I said trends. I'm telling you, I set the wave. I don't write.
You know, he's like, because it's like the dog can be like, I guess we're like bad guys and shit. Like, you know, we argue all the time, and you know what I'm saying? We got that
we're
stigma.
We're the
but see, we gotta understand, we pioneered this dog YouTube communication type thing. The Apbt community did. You know, it wasn't those other communities. They weren't coming together like this. They don't have shit to say. They can't go live every day. They don't have 10 shows a day, you know, like we do over here. So, as much as, you know, dudes want to pop in and try to talk about what we talking about, and it's all exciting. Like we pioneered this shit, homie.
Facts.
You know, that's, I mean, just
you think I got the topic of the year so far? Hybrid vigor. I don't think nobody gonna top that, because in the end of the day, most of who y'all think is good dog men are still gonna be baffled in 2026. They still ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, no,
right? We could talk about this shit for the rest of the year, but you know what I found out is most people, a lot of them people think they know everything, so they want to stay dumb. They want to stay right where they at. They're comfortable in their ignorance. And you know what? I'm comfortable in your ignorance if you are. Right? Don't be rah-rah at me about it, though. Right? Don't be mad at me about it. You dig what I'm saying? So it's just that on that. It's nothing personal. You dig what I'm saying? I just point out the deficiency. And the deficiency ain't in the dog.
Hey, this is funny. I love it. I love it, man. You know, because it's all educational at the end of the day. But we gotta give ourselves room to grow. You know, if you don't know everything, all that means is that you still have more room to grow.
Right.
I don't want a computer that is full and can't learn anything else. It can't add any more data. Right. It's full, right? So there's nothing wrong with you not knowing everything. That means that there's more knowledge that you can retain
and apply.
Right. And so you won't be buying dogs for the rest of your life. And so there won't be guys that won't know what hybrid vigor is. And we got a very special guest popping up, schoolboy Richard Garcia.
Oh man, Mr. Garcia.
What's going on, schoolboy?
All good. How you guys doing?
What up, schoolboy? What up? What up?
Man, schoolboy. You know we got to get you in on this conversation now.
Got the top. It's the topic of the year.
What are we talking about? Hybrid vigor?
Hybrid vigor been the topic all week. It's been going nuts in the community.
Oh, really? I've been out of it, I guess, man. I've been busy. I guess I ain't caught it.
Okay, so we get a fresh, untainted, unbiased opinion. I'm gonna mute my mic and I'm gonna let you cook.
Hybrid vigor. Well, it says it right there. The simplest way to explain it is a straight outcross, 50-50. Two unrelated dogs, right? Now, in the past, this is the way I explained it because what some people have put out or definitions or whatever, it's two unrelated dogs from the same species or from the same bloodline, whatever. I mean, the same breed, right? Pit bull, Rottweiler, whatever it is. But some people are saying it's two different species, right?
Right.
Like a pit bull and a Rottweiler or something. To me, that's not an outcross. That's a mix.
Right.
And that's what I use in different vids I did in the past to cover that topic, try and explain it. Because if they're two different species or two different, types of canines, of course they're not related. There's no way they're related. So why make that distinction like that? It didn't make sense to me.
That's what I said.
You understand?
Yeah.
What's that? That's what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said. It was right dead on.
Well, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Because, it's that simple. They ain't fucking related, because they're two different breeds. So that to me is a mix. Can that produce hybrid vigor? Yeah, it can. But hybrid vigor comes from an outcross, two unrelated dogs, same breed, two pit bulls, two different bloodlines.
Right.
Which is different from vigor. You can retain vigor. You can have vigor. You should always have it in your dogs, in your family of dogs. The only distinction is when you make an outcross, should produce hybrid vigor. And for me, an outcross should produce better than the two bloodlines are separately. Like Eli Carver, Jeep Red Boy, Jocko, Red Boy Jocko, like that.
Yeah.
They generally produce better than either side of the equation.
They produce better with each other than without each other.
There you go. Yeah. Yep, you could say that. Yep. So it's something that comes up. I don't know what everybody's been saying. It's pretty simple to understand. But
they say that in the past people didn't never use this terminology. People never used hybrid vigor. They never studied it. People don't know about it. What is it? It's fake. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Well, I've been in the dog since I've been in the dog since 1978. The term was used back then. It was used before then. It's in the dictionary. I don't know how long it's been in the dictionary or when it was actually coined, the word, but no, it's been around for a long time. It's one of the first words you learn or first terms you learn when you're talking about breeding. You got inbreeding, line breeding, outcrossing, hybrid vigor, the phenotype, genotype, and all those heterozygous, close cosanguineous breeding. Some of those words were used later, even though they've been around a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
But the hybrid vigor one has been common for many, many years. So I think people just need to be educated, and do some research. That's one of the things I don't see people doing that they used to do. It's almost this is what I don't get. In the past, we didn't have online, we didn't have Google, none of that stuff, right? If we wanted to learn, you learn it in school, you go to the library, you get books, you buy whatever you do. That's how you got the information. If they weren't teaching in school, you go to the library. Basically, that's what everybody did. Now everything is online. You don't need to go to the library. You don't have to buy the books unless you want them. And people don't research shit. It boggles my mind, man. The info is right there.
On your phone. You could click on it in your phone.
That's what I'm talking about.
Instead of playing video games on your phone.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how you word it. Like my daughter will look something up, and I'll ask her something, and she'll look it up, and she goes Siri or whatever, and it's a fucking sentence. It's not like, what's the definition of this? It's like, Siri, tell me how to get to this and what this means and where it originated from and blah, blah, blah. And the shit pops up, dude, and it gives you all the answers you just asked. Yep. So that's kind of frustrating.
Welcome down, Ram.
Welcome Ram, what's happening?
Oh, what up, OG? What up, y'all?
Welcome down.
What's happening?
What up, Ram?
Oh, shit, just got back from the lake.
All right, that's a nice looking dog you got on there.
Oh, yeah, man. That's some old red boy Eli, a little bit of Rascal, a little bit of Jeep in there, some old dude from Northern Cali had.
That's the old
looks like that stuff.
And we got the biggest topic of the year so far. Cod said it's the biggest topic of the year so far, Ram. You're on the hot seat, man. Hybrid Vigor. How long is this term? When did you hear about this? Is it a new term? What is it? Talk about it. You got the floor.
Well, it ain't a new term. Shit, you learn about that shit like, you supposed to in fucking basic science, when you in fucking 7th, 8th grade up to high school. And that just, you take the parents, say like Schoolboy Big Red, he Jeep Red Boy, and then he got some of the Eli in there, perfect example of hybrid vigor. And all that is when the offspring traits are more pronounced than that of either of his parents, There's no big secret to that. It's not nothing new. Fucking you even see that in weed and shit. How you think we've been getting bomb all these years? If motherfuckers wasn't working with hybrid vigor, we still be smoking Reggie, man.
Right.
So no, it's nothing new though.
Right.
It's nothing new at all. Maybe new motherfuckers might just now be hearing of it. But shit, we got Google, man. We got a whole fucking. I grew up on the fucking encyclopedia game. You feel me?
Right.
We got that in our hand now. You can go look up that shit. Exactly, that one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
I still have the encyclopedias my mom bought me. I still have the whole set.
Me too. And them shit's expensive as fuck now. Shit, if I didn't have no sentimental value to them, I'd sell them hoes. But hybrid vigor, that's why the game keep going. Without it, we'd have been dead in the water, bro. We'd have still been having goddamn Kobe old family Reds, and that's it, But when you put them two together, the game start moving forward. And fast forward to 2025, and you got real good dogs still, better than the dogs Earl Tudor had. That's hybrid vigor. When it's applied and it's actually working, And that's coming from, two animals of the same breed. I wouldn't try to crossbreed no shit and then call it that. That's a mix, That shit don't count.
Nice.
Yeah, it's, for example, the liger, tiger and lion. I don't know if that thing is better than either one of them,
Yeah. I heard
there's no vigor other than the size, and that's just because of gene deficiency,
Yeah.
Because it's sterile.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. So that's depletion of the depletion of the species. And even like mules,
that would be a hybrid. That would be the definition of a hybrid.
That's the definition they're using. Exactly.
Right.
That's the definition they're using for hybrid vigor, and I don't agree with it. That's what I'm saying. I don't agree. That's a mix. That's not hybrid. That's not hybrid vigor. it may be a hybrid, but there's no vigor involved because the product isn't as good as either one of the two on either side.
Nope,
Just like
it's
a
not
mule.
vigorous at all.
Mules in a lot of cases are better working animals than horses, right?
But they're sterile
because they're more sure-footed. They don't require a high a diet, a real special diet. They can carry more weight. They ain't as scary, but you can't breed the fucking things. You can't breed them.
Yep, because they're sterile.
So, right, they're sterile.
They're a cross. You dig what I'm talking about? They're a cross.
They're a mix. They're a mix.
Yeah, a species cross at that.
Yeah. And that's why. And you got to remember, most species naturally don't mix with each other in the wild or otherwise. And even when you do mix them together, like with a tiger and a lion, which never happens in the wild, the resulting offspring is most likely sterile. Now, in certain breeds, like he just brought up the mule, right, which is a cross, or the donkey, which is a cross between a mule and a horse.
No, a mule is a donkey and a horse.
Yeah, donkey and a horse is a mule.
Right.
The mule, the resulting cross mixed species breeding. The only reason they can breed together is because they're in the same general family, but they're not the same species. They're called equine. Horses are called equine, and because of that, they can cross, but the result is always a mule, which is sterile. You can't breed it. And
exactly.
Hence, what Ram is saying has zero vigor.
Yeah, it's not vigorous at all, bro. If you can't reproduce it to move forward with it, you just might as well be doing donuts in the rain. You ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. Because if you keep going in that direction, eventually the species would go extinct.
Yeah,
you'd eradicate the species.
One breed
would die out.
Yeah, the last breeding, everything dies when that last one dies because it can't be reproduced.
Yeah. So even though, for another example would be, even though a duck and a goose, they're foul, you can't breed them together. You can't breed them together.
Mm-hmm.
You can't breed a turkey and a chicken. They won't throw nothing. They will not produce. So there's extreme cases in all kinds of different species, and there's cases of grizzly bears or brown bears breeding with polar bears, right? And the result is, they're functional, all that they can whatever, but they're smaller than
either one, both parents.
Right. It doesn't produce. It should produce something that's massive, huge, bigger than a polar bear, but they're not. They're smaller.
And that's not vigor. That's not hybrid vigor at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So
how did this become a topic? This is Dogman 101 shit we talking about. Like you supposed to know.
Well, they said it's been all week. It's been like I told them I've been out of the loop, man. I guess I don't know where I've been, but
it's been the last 3 months, Mr. Garcia. I brought this up.
Really?
I brought this up about 2 months ago. I thought everybody knew what it was, right? They joked and laughed at hybrid. Oh, we ain't never heard of that Cosmon. They made every joke. You dig what I'm talking about, to hide their ignorance.
Yeah.
Right? Of what's actually going on. You dig what I'm talking about? Now, the fact that I was pointing out the fact that, the dudes who do understand this have had these dogs 30, 40 years. And the dogs that they got back then are the lowest of the low of the stuff that they got now. That's just like the floor, right? The floor is just Red Boy, but we got Luke Haynes and Awesome Bucks and Maydays.
Mayday is the perfect example of hybrid vigor in every sense of the word. He was bigger than his parents, more pronounced than everything else, and better than them. Yeah. That's the perfect example of hybrid vigor right there is Mayday.
They told me, Ram, last night when I tried to explain, they said, show me it on paper. Show me hybrid vigor on paper. I said, okay, take Red Boy and his descendants, Yellow John, Yellow, Mayday, Awesome Bees, Awesome Bug, Luke Kane. You dig what I'm talking about? That family a line of dogs. They are generally better coming down from Mayday on down than Red Boy was.
Exactly.
Yep.
You put the Red Boy with the Jocko, and that created hybrid vigor right there.
Monster.
You put the Bolio with the Tombstone, more hybrid vigor. Put them both together, and you got the best of everything of all four lines. And that's Mayday. And he proved that.
Yeah, it's kind of common that and this was practiced from the inception, right? If you go back and look at, I don't care if it's Colby, Tudor, all them guys way in the back, 1900s, Armitage, all that. There's different bloodlines that make up their family of dogs. And then after that, they tighten up. And then after that, they bring something new in. And you do that every so often. Or in my case, I did it whenever I felt like it. I didn't wait for something to go south or whatever. But you're constantly doing that. So you got Mayday, like you said, that the hybrid and all that stuff, right? Well, after that, what do? They throw Buck in there. And like Graham said, you get Awesome Buck and all these other ones. So it's something that's always done, is continuously done. And if you don't do it, you're going to lose your shit. And every breeder knows that. If you're worth your salt as a breeder, yeah, if you're any good.
Even the Colby,
otherwise you're going to lose it.
Do y'all think it's fair that I was called an internet dog man for bringing this fact forward?
No.
Is your lights on right now?
Yes, sir.
Then I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker call me. I'm in the AC. Shit. My bills paid, my kids is happy and well fed, got school clothes and shit. Right. The shit that matter is important. I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker call me. Shit. You ain't gonna call me broke or a deadbeat dad. So anything else, fuck you.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
no, it just if what do they call it? If you have receipts for whatever it is you did or are doing, then that helps, Yeah. But if whether you do or don't, if you're putting the correct knowledge out and someone challenges it, then they have to have something to back up their challenge.
Right.
But the term, like I said, the term been around forever and it's simple. It's easy to understand. Like I said, it's two dogs that ain't related, same breed. Mm-hmm. You put them together, that's an outcross. It should produce hybrid vigor. In my case, if I make an outcross and if they're not better than the parents, then to me, the outcross didn't work. That's how I viewed it. Mm-hmm. And some people don't look at it that way. And that doesn't mean you can't breed those dogs. But as far as the breeding itself, just put Jocko and Red Boy together. The dogs that produced, were they better than either one of them together? In my opinion, yeah. Because not only do you have devastating dogs and champions and all that stuff, because you're going to do it several different ways, right? But those dogs that came from it are productive dogs. They produce, even though they're outcrossed. People think they got to be tight bred to produce. That's bullshit. Everything should produce, no matter what method you're using. But when you make that outcross, you should have athletes. Back in the day, dogs you could compete with, and dogs that produce them, themselves.
Yep.
That's the three criteria for me.
Took it up a notch is when you start producing producers who could continue to produce. That's when you got it locked in.
That's right. Then it's just a matter of picking whichever dogs you like on your yard and breeding those ones, because they're all pretty much going to throw good dogs. Just what do you like? Why do you like this one over that one? And breed all of them. Breed all of them. Breed the brothers, breed the sisters, breed the mama, daddy, grandpa, all of them.
The fucking cousins, all of that shit.
Cousins, all that shit. Aunt, uncle, nephew, niece, all that shit. That's especially a family of dogs.
Working, right, schoolboy?
What's that?
I said, especially if it's working, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, only if it's working, not especially.
Only if it's working. Yeah.
There you go, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it ain't working, shit, it ain't worth it. Shit. But if it's working, work that shit, man.
Yeah.
I done had
And
dogs off of
you're
fucking
gonna have
great
some breedings
grandfathers
that don't
back
work.
to granddaughters, and them motherfuckers was still the same but better, you know? Kept
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
good shit, but could do the good shit in a better time.
Yeah. And you're gonna have some breedings that don't click, don't work, whatever. Just discard them. Don't use those individuals in your program. You weeded them out in that respect, and then you just go with the ones that work.
And you
Could
got
be
the
his
information on what didn't work. So you know to kind of
right.
stay away from that. Or you got some spare time, you might want to circle back to it with different dogs just to see.
Yeah. There's a ton of ways you can go, man. But if you follow the, percentages, meaning which litters are producing the higher percentages, if you follow that, then you're going to be successful. It's almost a given.
What up,
Because
musician? What up, babe?
dogs that produce producers are going to produce more producers. I think Ram just said that, huh?
Yep. But shit, that's the truth. Ain't no way around it. When you get good producers who can throw that gene into their dogs, you just keep the ones who could keep doing that. You'll never buy another dog again in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. This is a topic of discussion. I thought everybody knew that shit.
Nope. As you see, like my brother Henry James in the chat, he still don't get it. He said I was confusing him earlier with this simple understanding that if you breed good dogs with good dogs, you're more likely to get good dogs. That if you breed bullshit with bullshit, you're likely to get some bullshit. And if you breed good shit with bullshit, you're likely to get some bullshit. But with that, you dig what I'm talking about? In those blendings and different and selective breedings, you can produce better dogs.
Oh yeah, because I had terrible luck with the Heinzel shit from old Jimmy, but just off of accidental breeding he had on his yard with some of that old bullshit alien blood. Them motherfuckers was way better than both sides of the family, you know? That was straight 50-50 cross.
Yeah, that was a problem, Ram. Him, and not only him, but even Heinzel himself before that. He started heavily inbreeding them, and it ruined them.
Yeah, because you got to think all that shit is based off of Daibo, and Daibo mama was a cold dog. You feel me? So you start tightening up on them genes, and that shit get real bad real quick.
Yeah, and not only that, they started having health problems,
Yeah, and them dogs was known to be the cleanup dogs. Like you could put a Heinzel dog in the mix and clean up anything you got wrong as far as physicality, skin, teeth, everything,
Yeah, yeah. But see, when that accidental breeding happened, the Heinzel with the white blood, now you have an outcross and that produce hybrid Vigor.
Man, them dogs was good as fuck too, man.
Yeah. Now, if you take them dogs and go back to the Heinzel side, you're gonna fuck them up again. They'll just go back to what they were before.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you go maybe to the white side or throw something else in there, then you can keep it going. And just keep that little tiny bit of Heinzel in there because it's holding blood and like that. It fades out.
Yeah, that's like Grand Champion Miss Rage. She was off a double bred off Buster with a bottom side of the Heinzel.
There you go.
Badass bitch.
Yeah.
Real badass bitch. One of the better bitches of her time.
Yeah, and she was inbred. She was father-daughter bred.
Yep, but just that little fucking quarter of Heinzel right there at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonders.
That's it. Yeah. So you can, what you said is true, Big Cough. The breed good shit to good shit, you're gonna get good shit. It's that simple.
Yep.
You breed crappy shit to crappy shit, you're gonna fuck it all up. And that's we've seen that in all these other breeds, these show breeds that go out there and win trophies and all that have lost their function. They don't do shit with them. They changed the standards. They changed the look. They're all fucked up, whether it's an old English bulldog or a bull terrier or a German shepherd. All these health problems, structure problems, all that shit. And the breeds ain't worth a shit. So that's what happens when you don't breed for function and you don't have standards for athleticism and work and or sport or whatever the breed was originally bred for. There's tons of them out there. They're all messed up, and people are now they're trying to fix them, and I don't even know if they ever will. But all them dogs were good dogs in the past, and they've been run into the ground because of their shitty breeding practices and fucked up standards. I don't want the pit bull to go through that same thing.
Thank God for the staff, because we got that to look at. You know, you get back further enough, you like, damn, there's some badass dog behind these motherfuckers.
Yeah, well,
they've been
the same dogs way in the back.
Yep.
But
moving forward, good luck. So I think that kind of help us, you know, keep our eye on the prize as far as breeding the American Pit Bull Terrier goes. Because we can just look right next door and see this was going to happen and you fuck around, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, have some bred up staff. Them bitches be looking good, but, you know, granted it is some dudes who still, you know, kept it pure to the standard of the staff. But that's so far and few in between now, like, so, yeah. You can fuck one up easy, just going off of looks and mouth, just whatever, you know. Most people fuck up trying to breed for that crunch. Look up 2 generations later, they biting, but they quitting like a motherfucker too. On top, ranked in a bitch.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect example. Yeah.
What up, Lot?
Oh boy. You guys, did you guys weigh in on rather if you thought the dogs got better over the decades, or I don't know if either one of you guys weighed in on
Hell
that.
yeah. They better, you feel me? Right. Or else the game would have been out of business, bro. The game would have been closed up if it wasn't, man. It better. Or what the fuck we got them for? Shit, I switched to bullies. At least there's money in them big motherfuckers.
Man, it's so refreshing to hear some real ones say this. You dig what I'm talking about?
For me,
I was feeling lonely up here. Buck City was the only nigga holding on with me, cuz.
Yeah, I'm right there with Ram. They have to get better, or else what the fuck are you doing? But it's more individual on an individual basis, you know. Which breeders are, you know, the breed as a whole. I don't know, but individually, hell yeah, there's many dogs that were better than the dogs of the past, even some of the top dogs of the past. But when you get up into that elitism, like, you know, if you want to say like Zebo or something like that, a dog like that, those dogs, you know, they're good in any era.
Yeah, you could.
So if Art was here, he would still be a 7-time winner, or Zebo was here, still a 7-time winner. Or if there was, or if there's a 7-time winner here nowadays, it's that elite. He could go back and he wipe everything out.
Yep.
Right.
They take Black Jack Jr. and put him in 2025 and he'll still finish 9 straight.
You go. Like that. But because of,
so
you know,
far and few in between, though, so, you know, them is good to look back on. And if they do pop up in your breedings, hell yeah. But, you know, you want something as close to that as possible, if not better. But then again, they so far and few in between, like those were real aces, you know?
Yeah. It just, and I'm sure, you know, some of the ones I seen, I would put in that same category, even 20 years after those dogs were expired, you know? But because of better understanding of nutrition and better understanding of conditioning and more science as far as, you know, genetics and structure and behavior and, you know, just the overall general health and well-being and caretaking of the dogs, that helps them improve also the epigenetics, how they're raised, and the vaccinations, and the, you know, a lot of different things involved in it. They have to get better, and they are. You know, one thing I see people do now that they didn't do back then, not a lot, was they spend time with their dogs and exercise them and get some kind of work out of them, where in the past, a lot of them just sat around And if they made the grade, they competed with them. And if not, they just like doing nothing on the chain. That was kind of common,
I'm trying to tell you. I said nobody listens to me, man. Maybe it's because I be on here blazing cats. They like, man, this guy can't be serious. You know what I'm saying? But
bro, you know what, Buck? Even if you're blazing cats, like you said, if you're speaking the truth, then people they can't argue with you. They may not like you, but they can't call you a liar. Man. They have to acknowledge that you're telling the truth at least. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's my age will tell you the same thing. How did they take care of their dogs back then? Most of them sat on the fucking chain or whatever. They fed them kibble and whatever. And, the house was any fucking kind of house. And that's it. They didn't do shit with them because they didn't want to take them out in public. Because even that stigma 40, 50, 60 years ago, you didn't have them all running around and shit, Now people, they walk them in public and they take them here and take them there and exercise them and go to shows and do weight pulls and all this shit, Yeah. So that's an improvement. You have to acknowledge it.
That's the socialization, right?
Yep, exactly.
That's what makes them better.
It makes them better.
Yep.
Because anybody that grew up with dogs, if you were a kid and had a dog, you took your dog everywhere.
Everywhere.
So they didn't do that a lot with pit bulls in the past, but now they're doing that with pit bulls too. And why not? You should be able to take them here and there, just monitor them, don't let them run loose. If they act aggressive towards something, leave the fucking area, get out of there, go, like that. Yep. But a lot of dogs are they're, because they're starting when they're young, now they're kind of, as long as nothing pops off, they're okay around other people and animals and shit like that. A lot of them, not all of them,
Yeah,
not even most of them. But
a lot of them are like, because I got one, my dog Cody, raised him as a pup, and that's my truck dog. He go to work with me and shit every day. So I take him to PetSmart and shit. He cool because he used to that shit, But his son, he just turned up no matter what the fuck I do. I can't take this motherfucker nowhere.
Most of them you can't do that with. That's truth. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
But hell, you only need one. You only need one.
Yeah, you only need one ambassador for the breed. If everybody on there who got more than one dog on their yard, just pick one to be the ambassador of the breed.
Yeah.
That's the one you bring out everywhere.
Yeah. I know one dog, man, he used to take his dogs to the old folks home,
Yeah.
So they could meet and greet with sick people, elderly people and stuff like that. It brightens their day, and the dogs understand these people are old and invalid and sick and like that, and they behave accordingly. They're easygoing and gentle with them and shit. He did that on a regular basis, like once a week. He'd go to the old folks home and do that.
Yeah, they say dogs clear energy too. You know what I mean? I did a show on Edgar Casey, who prophesied way back in the 1920s that the dogs would be becoming more sentient. Right? They would be used for more things. They would be used in energy work to find sicknesses in the body. You dig what I'm talking about? He was saying that 30 years before they ever even found that they could do it.
Yeah. Well, so I have firsthand experience with that. My daughter's sick right now. Her dog knows it. And he gives her signals. And, part of it where she caught this in time, hopefully, her ailment, is because of the dog. He was telling her shit, and she's like, Dad, he won't leave me alone. He follows me around, and he smells me, and he's sitting here, and he won't go, and he's acting weird. I said, he's telling you something, man. You're sick. Go get checked. She was sick. She got checked. So they smell cancer. They smell arthritis. They smell heart attacks, and they can tell when you're going to have an aneurysm or some shit. You just have to pay attention to the dog and read the signs. But you're right. That's something that it's come up fairly recently. Not all dogs can do it, but some can, and he's just a little stinky mutt. But that's her boy, man, and his daddy was like that too. So that could be genetic within them little fucking tiny mutts, you know. They're only like 5 pounds, but they've done that. I've seen that.
Hell
Reels,
yeah.
man.
That and if you single and shit and you bring a new chick to the crib and your dog keeps smelling their cooch, it's probably better to just not hit that.
Right.
I'm telling you, there's something fishy going on. You feel me?
Yeah.
Our dog Champion King was notorious for that.
Oh boy.
Hey, you got something wrong with your cooch, your pH balance off, bitch. You gotta go.
Ooh-wee. Hey man, that
if the dog can tell, it's pretty bad. You know?
Yeah. Because you came over showered and perfumed up, but this motherfucker still smell it. I don't want to inhale it.
Hey, Ram, why the little girl put a fish in her pocket?
Straight up. Smell like shrimp, my guy.
Yeah. So if she tells you you only want one thing and it's disgusting, then you tell her wash it. The dog's telling you to wash it.
Hell yeah. Go get that checked out ASAP.
Yeah.
You might be cooking bread over there with all that yeast. Irritated by your yeast infection.
Yeah.
Hey.
I want to get on this these key benefits of this hybrid vigor.
Well, the most easy is the size, you know. They should have bigger bones, better defined bones, better muscle definition, better teeth, just everything better. That'll be your first sign. Then the second is, you know, how they act. Are they smart? Are they dumber? You know, the middle stage of it.
Less inbreeding. It's less inbreeding.
Yep.
That right there lets me know that it's not only different species. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And you know, if you use I've said this before, I'll say it again. You want to use the ROM list as an example. Most of the dogs on that list are cross dogs. They're not inbred dogs. Mm-hmm. There's only a few that are inbred or even tight bred.
Yep.
And some of them are out cross, some are three-way cross, but they're crossed. They're not tight bred or inbred dogs. And like I mentioned before, all these breeders, if you go back, you know, somebody brought up Títere, right? Grand Champion Títere. Yeah. And I did a video on it. I spoke about it, this and that, right? Oh, he's scatterbred. He's not scatterbred. You know how to read a pedigree. You know where he came from, right? You can. He's not scatterbred. That was the whole thing, right?
Right.
And you know they go, yeah, well, you don't know what you're. Okay, then if he's scatterbred, Daibo is scatterbred too. Nobody ever says Daibo is scatterbred. The only dog that appears more than once in Daibo's pedigree is Gimp. In a 4th generation pedigree, he's only in there 3 times. So how come Daibo's not scatterbred and Títere is? It don't make no sense because most people don't know how to read a ped.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and even in my new book, I break down pedigrees. And if you don't know the dogs and you don't know how to read a ped, you're not going to see that all these dogs in the 2nd and 3rd generation are related with Black Widow, say, or Cracker, Carver's Cracker. They're all related. So that's where people, you know, they look at a pedigree and like, what the hell does it say? Well, you got to learn how to read them and you got to do research. That's why I keep saying that over and over again.
Why do people always say pedigrees don't matter?
Well, then why do they ask me every fucking day for pedigrees? Every day, all day. 5-10 times a day.
The pedigree don't matter if the dog don't live up to the pet or greater than the pedigree, then the dog don't matter, you know, because he didn't live up to the pet. That's as close as I can get to saying the pedigree don't matter.
If the dog is no good, then his pedigree for him, it doesn't matter. I've used my own champion Bill as an example. He was a champion, came from good dogs. His daddy's ROM, his mother inbred G, all this stuff, right? Great dog. His brother quit. I don't even remember his brother's name. They have the same pedigree. So unless the dog is worthy, that pedigree doesn't mean shit.
Hell no.
But the pedigree,
if the dog is worthy, then the pedigree matters a lot.
But so, think about it on this foot. Like a pedigree is it's a footprint. You see what I'm saying? I look at it differently because if I see that pedigree, that lets me know what yards those dogs were on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Because it's a lot of information in it, you know. That's a breeding blueprint.
That's where the research comes in. Right. Because if you don't know those yards, then again it don't mean shit.
Then you don't know what the fuck they was breeding for.
That's right. You don't know what they were breeding.
You don't know shit.
Right. Yep. You're right.
It doesn't mean everything, but it means something.
It is useful. It's a useful tool to have, but it's not your most prominent tool. The dog should always be your most prominent tool. And making sure he lives up to the pedigree is what counts. Because I done seen dogs with just okay pedigrees, and the motherfuckers is superstars, you know, that could produce superstars. But looking at their pet, you know, without knowing what's in there, it's lackluster as fuck. You feel me?
Yeah. It's all a matter of you know, having that information and knowing it.
That's why it's always better to just stick to the traits, man. You know? Just stick to the traits, because we can have litter mates and they don't fucking perform the same. One might, you know, be the traits everybody want to look for, but I might end up with a slick head dog, you know? Now, because I like slick head dogs, I would continue that trait. Most likely wouldn't breed him back into his family because his family wasn't known for that. I would start looking for other slick head trait dogs, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to it, you know.
But it's simple still, too, though. It's a lot, but it's simple, too.
Yeah, it is.
Once you get the information, you'll be better suited to understand that, you know. It seems complicated. A lot of the shit we talk about, you know, can get long-winded, but once you get the hang of it, it's simple, man. It's simple as fuck. Breed for the traits you like. Throw the ones you don't. You know, keep all the good ones. And if that don't work, scratch the whole yard and start over with something else that do work to your liking. Because you don't just got to stick to one bloodline if it's fucking just because you like it and it ain't working. Fuck that shit. Go find the ones that's bred like that. You can still have the same blood, just a different family. You know, I love red boy Jocko dogs and when I used to earlier just breeding because of the pedigree, I wouldn't get the shit I was looking for. But the more I stuck with it and stayed in the game, I'll find out, okay, these motherfuckers just breeding for the pedigree. I'm looking for the motherfucker who breeding for the traits of these dogs. So if I got some Jocko shit that's looking like Jocko and all that, I want back end dogs, you know? Majority of them, that's what I'm looking for, that Jocko phenotype.
Yeah. And
if you're not displaying that, you know, I don't want it. Even if your shit is good, that's not what I'm looking for.
That's why bloodlines are named after their breeders.
Yep.
The two variants is a bloodline is named after a dog, or it's named after a breeder. So if it's named after a dog, that dog should be prominent in that pedigree, in that dog particular individual's ancestry. If it's named after a breeder, then there should be several bloodlines in that family of dogs. And whether it's Tudor, Carver, Heinzel,
was looking for,
you know,
Boyles, you know.
Yeah, Boyles like that. There's different bloodlines within their bloodline, within their family of dogs.
Yeah.
So if I'm not putting no other bloodlines in there, then I can't say I can't put my name on it. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying
you can put your name
I'm saying
on
once
it.
once they have established, as they're building their family of dogs, and once they establish their family of dogs, and the bloodline is named after the breeder, it's because there's several bloodlines within their family of dogs. It's not just one bloodline. So it has to be called Carver rather than Bully Son, because he used Bully Son, right?
But he also
Or
used
Dibo.
Ironhead.
He also used Ironhead. He used Dibo. He used Black Widow. He used Cracker. He used D. He used Arts Missy. He used Stompin' Out. All this, and most of them are related to some extent, but they're not all based on one particular dog.
Yep. That's like out west, we get Eli dogs, but if you in Louisiana, you getting a Boudreaux dog because Floyd just didn't breed for the traits of Eli, He bred for the family of dogs instead of one particular dog. And that's why, though, when you get one from him, his dogs do look different from everybody else, Eli dogs.
Yeah, and there's exceptions like Kobe, in his later years, and even Heinzel in their later years. They pretty much type bred and inbred their stuff, But when Heinzel, once he established his family of dogs, it was from 5 different breeders. Is Tudor, Kobe, Hemphill, Corvino, and Leitner, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's what the Heinzel bloodline is made up of. Just like even Carver, he started out with Kobe, Leitner, then added Dibo, then Eli, and Bully Son, and like that. Black Widow. So there's several of them.
Yeah.
And when you do that, as you move forward and you breed your dogs together, all of them are going to be related, unless you bring a straight out cross in. All of them are going to be related to some extent or the other. Could be an eighth, could be a quarter, could be 3/4, could be half and half, could like that, 7/8, 33%, 60%, all this. You have all these different percentages within the dogs. And you can tighten up, or you can loose line breed, or you can, bring a cross in.
If you want,
you can inbreed. Okay, you just have more variety and different ways you can breed, but your dogs are related. Most of them, if not all.
And that's with any modern dog now, though, because most of them got Dibo in them, so technically they all some type of cousin to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though it'd be like fucking 13 generations removed type shit. So, you cousins, but only on paper because the traits change,
Yeah. And after a while, the influence of the dog is not present anymore. The traits can be carried on, but that particular dog himself is so far back 10 generations, it doesn't matter. The only way to keep that individual going is if you keep moving forward with certain traits.
Yeah, like dogs that not only look like him, but perform like him or better,
Yeah, like that. And then when you throw a cross, when you throw a cross, it's going to change up a little bit. Or if you want to change your dogs yourself, like let's say in the past you had a bunch of rough dogs, stifle dog, chest, this and that. You wanted some smarter dogs. So maybe you throw some Bolio in there, or you throw something else in there.
Yeah,
and now they're still rough. They're still rough and go for the killing holds, but they're smart too. They know how to work a muzzle, or they can get up on top if they have to use defense like that.
Yep.
So that's each particular.
If you do it right, because like I was using my example from earlier, like I want a Jocko dog, but I might have ended up with his brother who was a slick head dog. And say I start breeding tight on that, and I can start running out of room and cross back into the roughness and shit because I'm getting too far away from it and I'm losing power and all that. Cross back into like his great niece or something like that. So it's a cross, but it's within the family, but the traits were so different that, I was able to make it a cross, but still keep the same blood and the same majority of the traits,
Yeah. like my friend had a he worked with mostly Chinamen and Aussie Stevens stuff, right? Rough dogs, stifled dogs, but Aussie Stevens, some of it like Homer and Mountain Boy, Freddie, would fight the head, muzzle, ears like that. So through his breedings, what he ended up with dogs that were rough, but they'd fight the face too.
That's a rough
because
customer
of that
right there.
Yeah, right. So you can do that. My protege did the same thing. He threw Skull with Red Boy Jocko in there. Now you have chest and stifle dogs, but they fight the head too. So if something gets to their back end, they know how to defend against it. They'll grab by the muzzle, they'll grab by the ear. Right? And that's all evolution of breeding, how to improve.
Always savvy like that, or did that come later on? Like the diversity and knowing how to pick traits like that. You think that was always like that since they came off the boat, or did that evolve over time?
Yeah. No. It's always been like that, just for the simple fact that when you breed English dogs and Irish dogs together, two different types of dogs, and then within that you have those different styles that people, that breeders would use. Like for example, Corvino back in the day, he liked smart dogs. He liked head dogs, game ass head dogs. That's why he used Braddock. That's the type of dog that lost to Champion Spike. He liked rough. Everybody likes rough dogs, but you want them smart too. So his focus, in my opinion, was on intelligence and gameness. That's what Corvino was doing. So somebody's getting a Corvino dog, they want to add those traits to their stuff.
Damn, I never knew that, because all my Corvino shit when I lived in Chicago, both the parents were smart like that. All the offspring was smart like that. It was real rough, but most of them played the front end real good, man.
Yeah,
and it just came down to whoever could get there the fastest or bit the hardest to get them out of there.
Right. At just doing research and following the traits and reading articles and seeing what type of dogs he used, and people, the way they talk about them. I have a little recording of him, bunch of old timers, and it's 2 different recordings, but the people that are in them it's Pete Sparks, Earl Tudor, Harry Clark, Joe Corvino, and Kaboom Trahan. And they're talking of all this stuff, and that's kind of what Corvino mentioned. I like them game dogs. I don't like a dumb dog. He had a little squeaky voice. So doing all this research, that's why I tell people, do some research, man.
You're gonna have to play that on the show for us, OG. That's some good information right there.
Yeah, I'll do it one of these times. Yeah, it's you can hear Tudor talking what he sounded like, and Harry Clark, you can tell he's educated. Just the way he presents.
Do again, schoolboy, to do some what?
Research.
Got to be more careful.
Everybody should be doing that though. If you got these dogs and you serious about even feeding them, do some research, man. Shit. I think we all up here got good at the shit. Even like I could tell you, give you all the game, but if you don't go and apply it, then you're not doing your research, motherfucker.
Always, we talk about being a student of the game or a student of the breed. Well, a student is always learning,
right?
And you should always want information. It'll help you improve.
Hell yeah!
Even now, I don't have dogs, but man, I got all this information that if I did, I'd be using it. And some of it is nutrition, some of it is conditioning methods. Some of it is all kinds of different shit that would have helped me. It would still help me now, even though I'm older, if I had dogs. So sometimes I'm just passing on the information, and I don't never come up like, oh, I was doing this 40 years ago. No, I wasn't. Nope.
Plus, ain't nothing wrong with learning nothing new. Shit, motherfucker can't know everything. Shit, that's just impossible.
But this kind of proves the old saying also, knowledge is power.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, hybrid vigor. Hybrid vigor. You know, it's an old term. This has been around. I heard it, like I said, years ago. More partners use it. Some use it more than others. I heard Battlecross. Battlecross. Yeah, it didn't have to work.
Yep.
Yeah, that Battlecross didn't have to work. But I think that was the same type of thing that they're trying to produce. From two good lines. Not just slapping stuff together. And it's
even the term Battlecross,
both worlds.
The Battlecross is connected to hybrid vigor because, like we were talking about, hybrid vigor produces superior individuals. It's supposed to, right?
Right.
Well, Battlecross means you're going to compete with it.
Right.
So you want to compete with the best. That's how that's connected.
Right.
It's just a layman's term, but same shit.
And then if that correlates with, the litters, different, like the health and litter and litter size, that's huge. And that's something that you're going to see from a breeder's perspective. Like I sat here, I raised these motherfuckers. This litter right here, I went tight. I lost half of them. They was weak. They got sick and shit. When this other litter, I didn't damn near have to do nothing to these motherfuckers. And it was a straight outcross. And it's not rocket science, what I'm saying? It's like, damn, why did those cop parvo, what I'm saying? When you do tighter breeding, you're putting them out there for that. You're opening up that door,
Yeah, true.
For that, so
yeah.
Hey man.
So the reason that happens when you inbreed and you have weaker individuals is because whatever defects are in the dog, where they're physical, mental, that come out when you inbreed, it's because they're in there already. So when you inbreed, it pronounces everything. So whatever defect is in there, it's going to pronounce that too.
Yep. It's pushed from the back to the fore.
Yeah, that's right. That's why with inbreeding, sometimes you get sick pups or they're structurally all fucked up. It's in there. It's not like it produces it out of nowhere. It's in there and it's exposing itself through the inbreeding process because the genetic pool is smaller. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, when you inbreed, you there's a chance, you have a chance of producing good dogs, but I forget how they word it, but you have, it's like one step forward, two steps back. So it can produce good shit. But
they call it.
Say that again.
Depression.
Right. Yeah. That's the technical term. Right.
Yep. But you kind of doubling down on the bad traits that's in there too, even though they're not prominent.
That's the word.
They could come out in that inbreeding, So
yeah.
But that's the culling process, though. Just cull all the ones who got all the junk in them and keep the ones that you're looking for,
Yeah. Yeah. So to what you were saying, Buck, I wouldn't expect a ton of good dogs in an inbreeding. If you get one that makes the grade, you're doing good. If you get two, super. But generally, you don't get a whole litter of them. The defects are going to come out, and it may be in one or two individuals. It's not. That's good enough, in my opinion, anyways.
Yep, because look, the Tyrone shit lasted because of that, just cold hard. And now that he got his sodium bred, he putting into the outcrosses, and it's just everything coming out hybrid vigor so far,
Yep.
Like no matter what he breed, is inbred Tyrone shit too. Because granted, it's inbred, but it also had other shit in there too to go with the shit that he crossing it to now. So that shit, them fucking pups bot gotta be coming out looking like little battle tanks.
Yeah, man. Even the pups, they look like adult dogs, just miniature, small.
Yeah, they
Like,
remind me of how the dogs used to look back in the day. Like they all used
yeah,
to come out
yeah,
looking like that.
yeah,
Little man
yeah,
That's why it
child.
used to be hard as fuck to pick a pup for me. Like, god
yeah, like a
damn.
man child. If you
Yeah.
Yep.
go to my channel, and you scroll down the videos, it'll have a short vid of Bakari's dogs, and there's 10 or 12 of them. You can see what I'm talking about. Little pups, on a lead or walking around, and they look full grown almost, and you can see their focus, in the pictures and their structure, Some of them kind of funky, but I was impressed when he sent me all them pictures, man, just how good they look. And some of them are grown dogs too. Just nice. If you know what you're looking at, they're good looking dogs.
Yeah. I like to talk to Bakary on what he was thinking, or where the hell and what he was smoking.
What the helly? What the helly?
That Christina dog. You think what I'm talking about? The boy that sent him into the stratosphere. He already had Tyrone. You dig what I'm talking about? But that kept his line going with the Eli Hoteps of the world, and
Yeah,
of that
yeah,
ilk. You dig what I'm talking about? Which was all good
yeah,
dogs. You know what I mean?
yeah. And he'll tell you himself,
Stompanato.
like Tyrone. Yeah, Tyrone's the paladin stuff. You have the Stompanato Arts Missy stuff he used, the Boleo stuff he used. He added some Red Boy. He got this, that. That's what you do as a breeder. Whatever fits your
Inbreeding
program.
degradation. I like that.
It's not actually called inbreeding degradation. Degradation happens because of inbreeding. Inbreeding depression is what you're talking about, Ramadan. That's the actual scientific term. I ain't make it up.
Look at the big brain on Brad.
Yeah, that's what. No, he was saying that to contradict what I was saying, but that's actually not.
I just like the response. I thought that was good.
Scratch.
You're not gonna be too far off if you're around in here.
Right though, it's degradation because of inbreeding. What happens with inbreeding is at the allele or at the locus, it's the same thing. So if you got rickets in one and rickets in the other, when you breed that together, what comes out is rickets. If you got mouth in one and mouth in the other, mouth generally tends to come out. It's pushed forward in the genetics. But on the other side, when it's too tight, like Schoolboy was saying in the line, it brings out the negatives too. Not just the good, it can bring out the negatives.
Yeah, they become more pronounced.
Yeah, and that's when
what
Graham says needs to take place. Culling.
So for me, if you're going to inbreed, the dog health should be number one. Youth should be important, and as little defects or faults as possible. If they have a major fault, I wouldn't inbreed it. If it's some little piddly thing like they got bad ears or something like that, or
slightly undershot, not too
a
undershot.
little bit undershot like that. Yeah, that's okay. But those health and vigor and youth matter a lot when it comes to inbreeding, for me anyways.
Would y'all agree that in our breed, right, in the American Pit Bull Terrier, we do something that most breeders don't do? We inbreed heavily.
Well, the serious breeder that I know do that, well, in the past I knew of doing that. They was inbreeding, but they was inbreeding to keep those traits. They wasn't inbreeding just to inbreed the pedigree. They or a specific dog. They was inbreeding to lock in those traits.
Correct.
Yeah, in other breeds they don't. Yeah. I'll say this too. I'll make this point. In other breeds, they don't inbreed. A lot of them don't inbreed like pit bull people inbreed. Right. At the same time, when you're talking about even livestock, or you're talking about horse racing, pigeon racing, greyhound racing, game fowl, they don't make excuses like pit bull people do. They don't breed no cold dogs or cold horses or hunting dogs. They don't breed
Dogs that won't
animals
cook.
that quit.
Mm.
They don't breed animals that have major faults. They do not do it. We're the only fucking industry that does that, and I don't know why. Because we got the best breed, we got the toughest animals, the most athletic, the most versatile. So those words I'm using, they don't transfer over to the breeding program. You shouldn't. Well, I'm going to use a cold dog. That's versatility. No, that's bullshit. Don't do it. No one else does it.
There's no purpose in the other breeds for that. You see what I'm saying?
Well, even in
I'm playing devil's advocate.
No, you're right. What I'm saying is, yes, there was, because they could have bred horses that wouldn't run on the track, or were ducks. They wouldn't do that.
No. Let's talk about those working dogs, though. Let's talk about that dog. Like, they're not really gonna keep that bitch that doesn't hunt because she can produce some shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's a term that hunters use. Hound dog hunters use. Dog don't hunt, they don't keep it.
Right.
Not only would they not breed it, they would cull it. That's just the way they did things.
Yeah, I think though we do it because it's been proven that sometimes them cold bitches will produce you some good dogs, and it's been more than 10 times we could point to that. And I think people just use that in our breed as an excuse that they might
use it as an excuse.
Badass producing cold dogs.
using that logic, wouldn't it be logical that if you did that with horses or hound dogs, they would get the same thing? Every once in a while, you get some badass fucking hunters. So a champion racehorse.
Whereas a lot of us, especially back then, had enough room to keep 50 dogs. That's why big yards wasn't a big deal back in the day.
Whereas believe me, there's a lot more money. There's a lot more money in horse racing and pigeon racing, and they still don't do it. And they have a lot more individuals than we do.
Exactly,
a lot more. So they would get the same results. They would have some badass sons of bitches every once in a while, but they know better than because they can get those badass dogs, champions, whatever, without using those excuses.
Yep.
And even, if you, again, do some research, you go back and you'll say, well, Tudor bred cold dogs. He bred cold bitches, right? He did until he didn't. At some point, he stopped doing that because he saw the results of it.
Yep.
And he even advised Danny Burton not to do it, right? And Burton told me a story. He says, I bred a cold bitch. He goes, and all the males in the litter were good dogs. None of the females would fight. They were all cold. And he said, and Earl told me not to do it, and I did it anyways. I didn't listen to him. So even when you have examples of people doing that, someone like Tudor, or even someone else, at some point they're going to change, or they should. And hey, that was I did that in the past. I don't have to do that anymore, or I shouldn't do that. It's not worth it. So we all do go through shit like that. We all go through, and sometimes you have to make exceptions. It's the only dog I got. People tell me it's the only dog I got, Richard. And I tell them, well, breed it then. See what you get. If that's all you have, that's all you have. Go with it.
That's what I was about to say. That's the only time that would be acceptable. Like, if I had the last living dog off old dog and the bitch was cold as ice, I say, fuck it, I'm going to try it. But I would not keep none of the cold dogs at all. None.
After
so I might end up with one that didn't display none of that. And then when I breed that motherfucker, I'm going to be looking at his offspring, and his offspring that make it, I'm going to be looking at them just because I know that shit will pop back up.
Yep, that's how you improve. One and done. So you make that exception, don't repeat it. Another example, some guys in Australia, dogman, they matched two females. One of them quit. The loser quit in over 2 hours, right? And the referee, like, what are you going to do? They go, we're going to keep her, we're going to breed her. He goes, really? She quit. And he told them, hey, it's hard to get dogs over here, and it's expensive. And she went 2 hours before she quit. We're going to take a chance and breed her. So that would be, I understand that exception. Because now, you're going to spend thousands of more dollars for a pup and shipping and all that shit, plane ride and all that. So that would, I understand that exception. And then, like Ram said, after that, then don't. Once you get a litter out of her, whatever quits after that, you don't have to keep it. You don't have to breed it because you have more numbers, you have variety.
Yep. And we got the musician, he in the chat, he inbred his stuff. You know, so he could tell us that shit was hard to him, but he also got 2 lines out of his one bloodline. He got the black, and then he got, you know, the shit that looked like Rick Rude, you know, and that shit in itself took a whole lot of fucking culling and shit. Cause I'm pretty sure he was getting some inside out bred pups when he started going real tight on the shit. But if you look at his past, you will see he was smart enough to put other shit in there with it. So, you know, he can have a black line because he put fucking Hope in there. She was a black dog that was prominent. You feel me? Real good bitch. So
Grand Champion Hope.
Yeah. It's complicated, kind of, but it's simple once you understand it, you know?
Yeah.
Because his black dogs distribute different traits than his red dogs do. Even though, you know, you can get and see they both in the pedigree together, but at some point in time, he split them, you know, and they were still just as good. He just had an out of the red in the black and an out of the black in the red, basically.
Yeah. So, you know, people that are coming up or they haven't made a lot of breedings or haven't made any breedings, and you're wondering, you know, how to breed your dogs or what you should do, go this way, that way. Take whatever you have and breed it. Whether it's 2 dogs you have or whether it's you have a female and you're going to go to some outside male, make the breedings and see what happens. Because if you wait until what you consider is the best way to go or this would be the best breeding, it's gonna be years before you do anything.
And it still might not work.
Start. It still might not work, and some of them ain't gonna work. But if you keep at it, something's gonna work if you're using the right individual. Because we've all heard the stories where there's champions that don't produce and grand champions that don't produce, and this, okay, that happens. But when you have a line of dogs or a family of dogs, or you go to a breeder that has good percentages within his bloodline, you have a good chance of getting something that's going to work. If the parents, the litter mates, and the grandparents, and even if you can go past that, we're all good dogs and produce good dogs, you have a better chance of getting something that's going to produce for you too. But if you don't make the breeding, you're going to be waiting and never get it done.
That make a lot of sense. That just makes sense.
There it is.
Good dogs to good dogs, and you get good dogs. I just
got to be more careful.
I don't get why they don't get it. That's what baffles me. I don't get why they don't get this.
Yeah. Well, that's them excuses that come up. Well, Heinzel did this and Tudor did that and Carver did. I don't give a shit what they did. And I respect all them guys for their contribution to the breed. But they're not here now.
Right.
And you have to make your own decisions. But you have to have some kind of standards when you're starting to breed your dogs. Which individuals are you using? Why are you using that? What do you expect from them? What do you like about them? What do you dislike? If the likes outweigh the dislikes, if there's no major faults, then breed the fucking dog and see what happens. Because that's what every breeding is anyways. As much shit as I talk about, all my dogs work and this and that, not all of them work. Some breedings didn't work. Some were better than others. So I went with the ones that were the best percentages, the higher percentage. And when you do that over time, well, shit, you start improving your numbers.
Yep, you go from 50% to 60 to 75.
Like
if you
that.
lucky, you get up to the 80, 85 percentile.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And I had one litter that was 100%. I only had one, but I had one at least, right?
Yeah, but from the breedings you made before that, though, you was able to get to that one.
Yeah. And it would have happened again. And like I said, my protege has my blood. He's had more than a few litters like that. And he's had one or two that didn't work for shit. And even had one litter where they come out, like seals, like flippers. And they weren't even heavily inbred. But they couldn't walk. They never, they were crawling around on their feet even when they were weeks old, on their elbows and shit. So that can happen. What do? You don't breed them. Don't keep those ones.
Now, just to express, answering the question and speaking towards the question in the chat. The brother said breeding good dog to good dogs does not always make good dogs. It's trait to trait that makes good dogs. Now, my question would be, don't good dogs already exhibit good traits? And isn't that why you're breeding them together in the first place?
Well, for me, my good dog to good dog was always, I looked at it as good dogs that are of my liking. So I always use Jocko because I like, the Jocko phenotype. So a good dog to me would be one who would display that, as well as having his family displayed it, and he could reproduce that. To me, that's a real good dog. No matter if he won, lost game, or fucking was a 10-time winner. And I take him to a female that distribute those same traits as far as being good as I see good, the trait wise, yeah, because you could breed a champion to a grand champion, not get shit. Look at fucking Zebo the Honey Bunch, So I never looked at what a good dog was as far as competition wise go, because that shit could fool you, I done seen fucking two curves produce a fucking 4-time winner, 2-time winner in one litter, and I seen both of them motherfuckers quit on the same card. Motherfucker took them home and bred them, and got some bad motherfuckers. Now what they went on to produce would be trash too, because they fucking parents both quit, and one of the parents on the other side quit. But that shit, the game is funny like that. So I always looked at a good dog as being good for what I'm looking for, because most dogs, they could, even a rough cur can perform bad as I had some badass curs, the motherfucker quit right on top. He was good until he wasn't. That's where that term come from, for real. So yeah, to me, a good dog is a good dog that exhibits the traits that I like, and they not only exhibit it, but their parents had it, and if I'm lucky, their grandparents did, and hopefully they can reproduce that for me, because that's what I would be looking for. So yeah, good dog, yeah, it'd probably do the game better if y'all start looking at it how I do. Because good performance dogs could not produce you nothing at all, no matter what you breed it to. Whereas dogs who can't scrap a lick, a goddamn game plug, produce the best shit you ever seen. So yeah, you gotta define what's good to you, and that's how I define what was good to me. Because yeah, you got some good scrapping motherfuckers. That's cool, but shit. Like I said, I had curs that'll fucking whoop your best dog and then quit. You feel me? He'll fuck you up, and then as soon as he done, he'll quit. So what that say? You had a good. I got a great dog, motherfucker, over your good dog, and this motherfucker still ain't shit because he quit. So yeah, performance is always important, but yeah, reproducing those traits to get you a lot further, bro. At least it did for me.
Right.
Yeah, you got to have consistency. I'll give a little story along the lines what Ram was talking about. There was this kid, gamefowl kid, and there's a real famous gamefowl guy named Thomas W. Murphy, and he had some chickens he culled, right? This kid asked him for the chickens. He gave them to the kid. He never heard nothing back from him. 2 or 3 years later, this kid shows up at a derby and cleans house, kills everything. So they asked him. He asked him, where'd you get them birds from? He goes, from you, Mr. Murphy. They're the ones that you were going to call, and I asked you for them. You'd let me have them. He won the fucking derby, right? That's kind of what Ram was talking about. But here's the thing about it. After that point, them birds, he never did shit with them. They never produced nothing. And that's what happens with these exceptions. these curs that produce and freaking code dogs that produce. You get a litter here, it's great. You get a litter there. But if you concentrate on that piece of shit dog, that's what you're going to get. A bunch of fucking curs and a bunch of code dogs, because that's what's in them. So those are exceptions. And you can utilize it as long as you breed away from it after the fact. But there ain't nobody that concentrated their family of dogs on a cur. And I don't care if you're talking about Bully's son or Finley's Bow and this and that. I'm talking about ranked dogs that ain't worth nothing. Most of the dogs we hear about, they quit. Oh, he quit. And this champion quit. That champion quit. There's extenuating circumstances why they quit. They were unhealthy, fucked up, not conditioned properly, rubbed, too old, fucking 90 years old. And generally, it's after a hard fight, a rough go, and probably some time that they quit. So that I'm not talking about those dogs. I'm talking about people that, and they did it in the past. Oh, the dog, I'm going to take him home and breed him because his pedigree is good. He quit in fucking 15 minutes, wasn't even hurt, got bit one time, didn't like it, and quit. Those are the types of dogs I'm talking about. No. Yeah. Yeah.
Motherfucker.
I've seen that. No. I'm like you, Ram. I've seen that. They fucking bite him in half and then walk away. I'm not going to breed that dog. I don't care how hard he bites. Because you can produce dogs that bite like that and don't quit. That's what gets me. That's what I go over, all the time. Why accept that? And if you see enough hard biting dogs, now you're looking at them like, well, this one bites hard, but not as hard as that one. Oh, that one bites hard. Oh, well, these are all in this category. These motherfuckers can all bite, and then some they bite good and like that. So you start getting into that mindset, then you can get away from I'm just concentrating on a hard-mouthed dog. Yeah, I can breed hard. I can make hard-mouthed dogs. I want the motherfuckers that stay there too, and athletic and strong and fast. The traits that we're talking about. All and this. Smart. What do you like? And smart.
That's the beauty of our dogs, though. You could fucking literally design them how you want, from the look to how they act. It's going to take time, but you can do it.
Yep. They'll have your signature. People will start saying that's a whatever dog. Oh yeah, that's a buck dog. That's a round dog. How do you know? Shit, they're all like that. That's the way they look.
Tap dancing, see you tap dancing.
Skywalker all over your dog head.
That's the signature, right? That's the signature. When the dogs that you've been breeding over the generations, it's like, bro, I can see that's a different signature right there.
Yep.
Those are the traits that you wanted. That's how your dogs are.
Yep. Exactly. A lot of similarity. But you're looking for consistency, that'll help you improve. You get all of them kind of having similar traits. And then when you outcross, if you find something similar to your own, you have a better chance with that outcross of producing it, because they both, even though they're not related, the dogs carry the same traits.
And that's where traits become very important.
So put Chinaman with Jocko, see if you should get a bunch of stifle dogs. What? You should. If you don't, maybe it didn't work that good, Right. But then sons of bitches should go to the back end, because both of them did, and a lot of their offsprings did the same thing, and their litter mates probably did too. I know Jocko's litter mate did. I know his brother champion. What the hell was his name?
Fuck. Not Apple.
Argo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apple probably did too. That was a litter mate. But Argo, he was a back end dog too, or he would go back there.
Yeah, so it's in that blood. Their daddy Hank was like that.
Yeah, their daddy Hank was like that too. A 4-time winner too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and that too, though, if you do like you said, and you don't get that, then the breeders of them dogs wasn't breeding for them traits. Most likely they was breeding for something else, and it's probably just the pedigree.
Yeah.
So you just find the breeders who breed. I want a Chinaman back end dog. I want a Jocko back end dog.
Yeah.
And then you put them two together, and them for sure, at least 70% of them out the litter should be vicious back end dogs.
Yeah. Well, the best offspring and even progeny of Chinamen that I saw went to the back end. And I rolled against one, and he went right to my dog's fucking nuts, man. So, yeah, they're supposed to throw that. And China Doll, his daughter, did that, you know. What was her name, too? The other one? She lost in 2 hours and something. Miss Nevada.
Yeah.
Will go to the back end, too. Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, man, I'm about to cut these fish up and fry these hoes, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, getting it going. What
Hell
you be putting?
yeah.
What you be putting on it, man?
What you caught today, Ram?
Big ass rainbow bass, big old 5-pounder.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah. Y'all just got the regular cornmeal shit. You feel me? Keep it old school. I'm finna fuck
Regular
this
cornmeal on them.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
With some hot sauce.
Fry me some fish. I ain't fried no fish in a long time.
Hell yeah, I already skinned them and dressed them on out. So yeah, made me some rainbow trout nuggets.
Yes, sir. Hey, it was a good cook though. Bulldog Sunday. Woo woo.
The motherfucker.
It was a good one.
What the hell?
Ram came through in the clutch. We talked that hybrid vigor. It was a good one.
That's a whole
had
show.
A good time, guys.
Yes, sir.
That's a whole show.
All right, brothers.
I need some of that good content, schoolboy. Also, I need you to promote that book you got going, man. I got a nice little angle that I'm putting together right now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to come out.
Just hit me up. I just been busy with my with family, so I've been kind of out of it. But
I'm
hit
gonna
me
get
up.
on
Just
Ram
remind
this
me.
time. I got to get him to get me a story too, man. Ram,
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Ram, y'all got to come on. You, Mr. Garcia, we talked to you the other day. We getting our show together, but come on down, Ram. You're more than welcome to come on, tell some of them tales from the swamp. You dig what I'm talking about? We don't want nothing. We want what you seen, what you knew.
Yeah, I can only speak on the past. I don't know shit about now. You feel me?
Yeah,
I want
the channel stories when you seen that badass.
Anybody talk about now is a fucking idiot.
And he damn near cried in the corner. We want them stories.
With the height of what's going on right now, you better not be talking about now.
Better not.
You better not be talking about it around me. I'll punch your ass in the mouth because I think it's
Definitely.
All right, brothers.
Man.
I'm out. Thanks for having me on
y'all, man.
again.
Appreciate y'all for pulling up,
appreciate
man. All y'all, man.
Take care.
Hey, man.
Salute.
Stay dangerous, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all, man. Hell yeah, I'm gonna get through.
All right, Ram.
Yeah.